from the northwest this afternoon at 10 to 20 miles an hour, and wind gusts today around 30 miles per hour. Even though rain likely today, new rain less than 1/10 of an inch, a slight chance of lingering showers into the evening with a gradual clearing tonight. Lows around 30 degrees, northwest winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Thursday, sunny, a high of 40. West winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour with wind gusts of 30 miles an hour. Clear Thursday night, a low in the mid-20s, and Friday, sunny with a high in the lower 40s. Right now, cloudy skies across central Illinois as we roll through this Wednesday. 60 degrees in Bloomington, 60 in Hayworth, 61 in Leroy, 60 in Farmer City, 59 in Champaign, 61 in Monticello and Decatur, also 61 in Mount Pulaski and Lincoln. It's 61 in Springfield and 61 in Peoria. 62 overcast in Clinton, south winds at 10 miles an hour, 94% humidity, 10 miles of visibility on this Wednesday. Weather Anytime is at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
You have a list of things. None of those things say, wander around a warehouse looking for somebody to help you. Nope. You have a list of things and Ace has them. From lawn and garden brands you trust. We also have local experts who make sure you get everything you need. Because at Ace, we have our own list and great service is at the top.
Hi, this is Shelley at Gibson Ace in Clinton, the helpful place. Stop by our store today where our helpful staff are ready to assist you.
This is the voice of the Eastern Illinois University Panthers, Mike Brad, inviting all of our fans from Peoria to the Indiana state line to listen for Panther football again this fall on WHOW's many platforms on AM, FM, and streamed online. EIU Panther football is part of WHOW's great weekend sports programming schedule, including a Best of Clinton Maroon sports broadcast and CBS Sports Radio. We'll bring you every Panther game start to finish right here on Central Illinois' news, agriculture, and sports station, WHOW.
Fisher's Auto Repair in Decatur reminds listeners, this holiday season, let's open our hearts to the disadvantaged children in our community. Join in the Toys for Kids mission. By giving these special gifts, you'll make your own holiday brighter. Bring a new toy to any participating location and make a child's wish come true. You truly can make a difference. This message courtesy of Fisher's Auto Repair at 1905 North Main Street in Decatur. Wishing everyone a happy holiday season.
Get in the game by listening to the winner 965.com. Great sports talk 24/7, plus college football and Big Ten basketball, including the Big Ten tournament, fishing and hunting information every week on Central Illinois Outdoors. We're your college and Big Ten sports connection in Christian County and surrounding area. Stream the winner 965.com to get in the game.
You're listening to The Morning Show on the Big 1520 across Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. My guest in studio is Curt Nettles, Superintendent of Clinton Schools. Good morning, Mr. Nettles.
Good morning.
I asked you very abruptly right before we started, are the Cardinals going to get a shortstop this year? And I didn't get all your answers. So what do you think?
So I think the aim is to get a good starting pitcher before they would go after
Well, they missed
shortstop.
on the best arm. And they weren't going to ante up $21 million for the fireballer from Queens?
No, I guess not.
Jeez. Gosh.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
Tightwads, man, $21 million for a guy that made 2 starts last year. How do you not do that? I just don't understand it. I'm just kidding with you.
I think we'll talk to Max Scherzer, but we'll see.
St. Louis guy, too.
Yeah.
That would be a good fit.
We'll see.
You know, you got to get a shortstop, though. This is like the best shortstop market you've ever seen.
I agree.
Who would you like if they came to you and said, we'll sign whoever Curt Nettles wants? Who do you want? You got Trevor Story, Seager. You got
probably
Correa. I like Seager, too.
I would like Seager.
I've always been a Seager guy.
Yeah. And he's a National League guy, so.
You got Trey Turner out there. Yeah. I've always been a Seager guy.
I'm fine with if we got Seager and a pitcher. We are going deep into October.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Let's follow up the Tuesday night Clinton Board of Education meeting, the actual things that people want to hear about here this morning. Let's talk about the kitchen project. This was introduced to the public last month, and sounds like some progress being made on where this is headed. So what's the latest? Actually, give us a reminder of what this is about first.
Sure. So the kitchen at the high school, I mean, that's all original. That building was finished around 1970, and that's all the original kitchen and everything in there. And I don't know what may have been done between 1970 and when I got here in 2015, but very little. So we have equipment that is on its last legs. We have space issues and things like that. So we need to revamp that kitchen. We need to renovate. We need to call Chip Gaines in and knock a few
How much
walls
fun
down.
would that be?
That would be kind of fun. Maybe
Yeah.
I should look into that.
You should.
So anyway, but we have Ryan Black. We don't need Chip Gaines.
There you go. He's just as good.
He is.
Maybe better.
Could be.
Yeah.
So we have our architects working on that. They've done some preliminary designs. Recently, we had a visit from them along with a consultant that they use. And he spent a lot of time talking to us and down at the kitchen, looking around and doing some things. So from all of that, we're going to come up with a final design of what we think it should be and have the board take a look at that. And there'll be more people having input in on that. But we fear not being able to get the materials and the equipment we need on time. So if you start day one after the kids are done in May, with the way things are going, we're afraid we won't get all the stuff in and get it done. And then we don't want to start school in August without the kitchen being ready to go.
Can't be serving kids cold food.
Well, I mean, we could do peanut butter and jelly forever, but
my kid takes a peanut butter and jelly sandwich to school every day, and she's not tired of it. She wants it.
I could do that. Now in the
I think I did that
late
in high school,
60s and in
actually.
the 70s, that's what we did.
I
But
think I did that in high school. I brown bagged it every day.
well, that, not everybody wants to do that.
Okay, fair enough. And they can't
So,
probably do that.
yeah,
Some
okay.
camps.
So we're gonna get that into shape. But what we're gonna do, my recommendation to the board is get all the designs set and then put out for bid and award that bid in January, for example, and let whoever wins the bid, let that contractor order all of their equipment and things that they need to come in. But then don't actually do the work until the summer of 23. That way we're not sweating bullets thinking that stuff's not going to come in and get done. That way the contractor can get everything ordered. And if there are delays, that's fine. He can get it. He can store it, keep it till it's ready for the.
Are they willing to do that?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think that's becoming the trend from my understanding. So our architects and the consultant that we talked to last week believe that is the best route to go. That way we're not in a bind.
Yeah. And even if you mentioned last night, the theme of the conversation was putting this to 23, but also even if there is hesitancy about, cost or supplies or whatever the case may be, at least go out for bid and find out what you're looking at. That seemed to be the theme for me last night.
Right. It's not really risky at all because when you go out to bid, we always put in bid specs that we have the right to refuse all bids. So if they come in like at 1.3 million, we're going to say, nope, not doing it.
Why is it such an expensive project?
Well, labor costs are high. Equipment costs are high. So, and it's a lot of specialty work too.
Okay.
I mean, so, but when you get professional people that are designing things like that, those folks cost a lot of money too. But again, it's equipment that's going to have to come in like a freezer and a cooler and warming things and ovens and whatever we're going to put in there.
So what's like the biggest challenge with the kitchen right now? Is it space? Is it capacity? Is it equipment?
It's both. We have a very aging cooler that's on its last legs. The aforementioned Ryan Black keeps it going.
Okay.
And he thinks he can do that for another year.
Sorry, the mower guys are here. And
I heard that.
Yeah, I thought I was hearing something. I was like, what is going on? So anyways.
Must be the last mow of the season.
Evidently, they're picking a heck of a day to do that. Jimini's.
So, and then just reconfiguring the space that we have and where we're going to put things. So there'll be some rearranging of where things go.
And maybe this is a board question, but what's like your cutoff for what's too expensive?
Right now, we're estimating this to be in the ballpark of $900,000, and so that's where we want to keep that. Okay. I don't want to go over $1 million with this, but Mr. Goebel is working pretty hard on working this into a federal grant, and it might be that this really doesn't cost our taxpayers much of anything.
No kidding.
So,
how's it being paid for otherwise?
If we can't get it through the federal grant money, then we might look at, can we get some of this approved to be a health life safety project, because we have money in that fund to cover such projects. But we also have a good fund balance in our operations and maintenance fund, which can cover those things. But I would prefer the grant.
All right. Very good. So Curt Nettles, superintendent of Clinton Schools, our guest in studio. Anything on that project we haven't touched on you want to put out there for us?
No, I don't think so. We're not finished yet with the design, but just stay tuned for that for next month in January.
Talk to me about the tentative levy. What are you looking at there?
So that's looking really good. We had a little bit less than 1% growth in the EAV for the district, so it's pretty normal. So Mr. Grobel worked on that, presented that to the board last night, and it looks like all things are fairly normal with that. The tax rate will stay the same for everyone as far as the school district is concerned. So that's good news. So the school district will probably bring in about $250,000 or more dollars more next year in property tax receipts without changing our tax rate. So
wow, that's great to hear. Good. Yeah, that is good to hear. Does that money have to go somewhere specifically? Like for when you collect that, does it have to
It'll
go
be
somewhere?
divided among the funds. So each fund has its own tax rate. So
I see.
1.84 of that will go into the ed fund, et cetera, et cetera.
So each dollar is designated to a certain spot. I got you. Okay, very good. Anything on the levy we haven't touched on? All of that stuff is kind of dry and
that's
pretty straightforward.
Dry to some, exciting for others. Well, very few that it's exciting.
I mean, the fact you're going to bring in $250,000 more than than last year, and you're not raising your tax rate is pretty.
That's great news for property owners here in our school district.
So, could you lower the tax rate and just keep it?
You can always lower tax rate, but I think everybody appreciates stability. Our tax rate for the school district's 3.60. McLean County, everybody's over 5, and you get a little north of McLean County, like the Flanagan area, it's well over 6.
Okay.
So we have a very low tax rate. So we're trying to stay as stable as we can.
I understand. I was just curious.
Yep.
All right. Very good. So tentative levy is on file. We've talked about the high school kitchen updates, board policy update, anything. First of all, what's the board policy and what's any major changes this year? How about that?
No major changes with this. So we belong to the Illinois Association of School Boards, and their legal team puts together quarterly updates for our board policy manuals. If you belong to the association and you subscribe to that policy service, which we do. So we get policy updates quarterly. We go through those and take a look at them, and then I present them to the board for approval. Many, many times it's just changes in legal references and footnotes and things that go in there, or it's a 5-year review because it hasn't been changed in 5 years. So we take a look at that and make sure we're still ready to roll with it as it is. Every once in a while, a new law passes or something like that, and we do have a little bit more of a significant change. But this go around was extremely minimal. So
consent agenda, just kind of looking, when you have like a high school teacher resign kind of mid-year,
sure.
And, at the turn of the semester, how do you handle that? I mean, especially with class schedules.
And really congratulations to Kim Mast. She's gonna go work at ISU, so a little bit of a career change for her. So she's done a really good job here. I don't know how many years she was here when I got here, I believe. So she's been here for a while. Very solid English teacher. And so we advertise and we hope that there's somebody out there that is ready and willing to go to do, half a year. So what we do is look at this as hire someone to be a long-term sub, and they know that coming in. And so that gives them the opportunity to show us what they can do and possibly be a top candidate for the job going forward. So we'll actually keep that advertised for next year.
Okay.
To see what other applicants we can.
So you're not going to have to worry about adjusting schedules with kids.
No, we won't. We do have some applicants for a long-term sub position for that. And also we have that with one of our social studies positions because of a longer leave of absence for a maternity's sake. So, so we're going to have 2 of those spots this second semester, but we do have a few applicants and we think we're going to be in good shape.
Okay.
But we want the best for our kids. So those folks will have to compete. for next fall.
Very good. Anything from last night's meeting we haven't touched on? One of the shorter meetings. I'll buy your board pizza if you want to keep that up.
Well, they're probably hungry. They could use that.
I'm hungry as well. That's why I said that. You guys keep me so late that I'm missing my supper time and my bedtime's later. And
you have to learn to do what I've done over the years and eat supper at 4:30. When you were a kid in Lincoln and I came back for all those basketball games and things, I had already eaten.
But don't you have to eat again when you get home? I mean, that's basically mid-afternoon snack.
I'd like to, but I try not to.
Well, you're better at managing your food consumption than I, obviously, for folks watching at home. At any rate, let's take a break here, Mr. Nettles. We'll come back with some more. Clinton School Superintendent Curt Nettles, our guest in studio. We follow up the Tuesday night Board of Education meeting. More to come on WHOW.
Let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Wednesday. I'm Jim Taylor for the RFD Radio Network. Corn, beans, and wheat all starting the day higher. December corn, 574, up 3. March corn, 580 1/4, up 2 3/4. May corn, 584 1/4, up 2 1/2. December 22 corn, 550 1/2, up 3/4. January beans, 1262 1/2, up 11 1/4. March beans, 1274, up 10 3/4. November 22 beans, 1249 1/2. Up 4 1/4. December wheat opening 815, up 4 3/4. March wheat up 4 3/4, 824 3/4. July wheat 815 1/4, up 2 1/4. December bean meal starting today 370.60. That's up 310. And December bean oil up $1.60.17. Look at the opening numbers at the Chicago Board of Trade for this Wednesday. I'm Jim Taylor for the RFD Radio Network.
At Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Baum Motor Company in Farmer City, our job is to help you and solve your transportation needs. This is Scott Baum. Both in Clinton or Farmer City, we'll listen and find options for a different vehicle, or we'll give you repair options to keep that car, truck, or SUV safe and trouble-free so you can continue with your busy schedule. If it has to do with transportation, we're here to help. Visit our full-service team today in Clinton or Farmer City. Baum Chevrolet Buick, right from the start.
Clinton Save-A-Lot owner Dave Jackson tells us live cashiers are important. Here's Dave with more.
The cashier actually doing the cashiering is pretty darn important, and the customers respond to that. We've gotten a tremendous response to our campaign reminding people that we have live cashiers.
You get live cashiers every time you save up to 40% off on your grocery bill at your Clinton Save-A-Lot. And as Dave always says,
and we hope to see you soon.
This is The Morning Show on 92.3 FM in DeWitt County, WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. My guest in studio is Curt Nettles, Superintendent of Clinton Schools. And Mr. Nettles, as we talked this morning, I know that you continue to make efforts in just advocating for local control. And, last night I anticipated you giving us an update on that, but none came. So what have you been doing lately? What's going on?
Well, I was fortunate enough to, along with a few of my colleagues from around the state, got a meeting with our state superintendent, Dr. Carmen Ayala. And that was something we'd been hoping for because as you know, a lot of people probably know, been going to all the state board meetings and talking to the state board. And that has now resulted in what I feel is more of a partnership working with them. We've had a lot of more personal conversation with actual state board members at those meetings now, and have been able to have personal conversations with Dr. Ayala. So that did culminate in her and I setting up a meeting. And so a few of my colleagues from around the state and I sat with her and a couple of staff members, had a great meeting. I don't really want to divulge a lot of what was said in that meeting, probably for obvious reasons, but
did you feel like it went well?
Yes, it went exceptionally well. And so we feel like we have an advocate in our corner now. So next step is we would like to have a meeting with IDPH officials and anybody from the governor's office that would listen to us. So that's the next step. That's what we're waiting for and hoping for, is that gets set. We do know that there are efforts being made to make that happen.
All right.
I have no idea when that might happen. Soon, I hope. But our purpose in that is to get into the room with people who can make some things happen, if they will, to allow us to use local control decisions in, with IDPH, obviously it's all health things. So COVID related protocols, metrics we can use that, things are going differently in DeWitt County than they are in Will County or Cook County or other things up north or even farther down south for that matter. We're a vast state. I mean, from top to bottom, there's a lot there and a lot of different scenarios. We would like to be able to make decisions at the local level for what's going on in our backyard. But it's more than just COVID. So we've had mandate after mandate after mandate on curriculum things or finance things or what have you over all these years. And we want to keep that conversation going too, that we get to make decisions for ourselves. And I remind people all the time, even state officials, that we fund this school district to the tune of between 80 and 85% with local funds. I mean, any business you set up, if you had 3 partners and one partner invests 80 to 85%, shouldn't they have most of the say?
Mm-hmm.
I
normally they do. I mean, that's kind of how that works.
This is not how this is working, but I appreciate regulatory things and I appreciate standards. We should have those things and licensure things. But even some of that's getting out of hand. So we're just pressing for that. And I feel like we're making some ground. So
you mentioned in our last conversation, your opinion of Dr. Ayala changed. It's Dr. right?
Yeah.
Dr. Ayala changed. And I'm just kind of curious, like and not to ask you to divulge all of the ins and outs of that conversation you spoke of a minute ago, but in that, perception change of her and the conversations you've had, do you feel like perhaps her universe was Chicago area? It wasn't rural, downstate, small town communities. I mean, and do you feel like this is kind of broadening the scope of what she thinks about when she thinks Illinois schools and education?
Yes. And that was one of our main goals, was to help the state board and her understand it is a different world. That's the mantra we keep saying. It's a huge state geographically. There are many different things going on and one size does not fit all. So that's a message we've really tried to get across, and we think that's gotten across. So, I mean, when she met with me and some of my colleagues, it's really downstate people. So, and really, I think we're gaining traction because we've cut through some of the formalities of things. So
like what?
Well, I'll just use myself as an example. So there might be people in this community that don't know me personally and maybe have an opinion of me, but they don't know me. So I've been married for almost 30 years. I have 3 grown children. I'm a grandfather. I love sports. And there's all these things about me. I'm a real person. I love people. I have a great family. I'm a family person. Get to know me.
Like,
find out
being a school administrator is one aspect of
I'm
your
a human being.
Yeah.
That likes to do a lot of things everybody else does. And so I made up my mind and said, I think that's who Carmen Ayala is too. So I made it a goal to get to know her a little bit and have personal conversation with her so we could just break that ice. So it's not.
So what's her deal? What is she? Besides the school, the lead of the school
family,
board.
She's got grandchildren. She's a real person and she talks like a real person. So we kind of are breaking the ice.
All right. Very good. Anything else on that you want to talk about this morning?
No, I'm just, we're waiting to see what next steps are going to be.
Cool.
So,
good deal.
Yeah.
Still running and all that good stuff?
I am.
Yeah. What are you working on these days? Like, do you do anything besides run?
I lift weights a little bit, as much as my joints and shoulders can handle.
Yeah. I'm noticing I get sore more after my workouts these days, which is unfortunate. It's a good thing, I guess, but it's unfortunate.
That can be good. There's a good kind of sore.
Right.
And then there's the kind of sore is not right.
Yeah. Been there, done that a little bit.
Stop.
Yeah. I was walking. So the Y is only like a few blocks from my house. So I can walk to the Y. And I was like, I felt like an idiot. I was walking home and I'm like crouched over because my lower back is like just tired. It wasn't like it didn't hurt. It wasn't like sore. It was just tired. Yeah. And I was like, I need to sit down. I should have drove. But anyways, so yeah.
Stretched.
Absolutely. As we come up on the winter season here, Mr. Nettles, what's on your radar as we get to holidays and things of that nature?
Well, I tell you, things that are normally on my radar, I've lost sight of a little bit just because of
such as
being the COVID czar. So
Getting to basketball games.
Basketball games. It's just all of a sudden we're playing basketball, and our girls' basketball team.
They look
people
good.
Need to come out and watch.
Mhm.
Our first 2 games, we've kind of run the floor great.
Mhm.
One by 30 and one by almost that last night.
Coach Williams is pretty good.
Yeah. So our girls are really doing well. Bad weather.
Yeah.
We got to get ready for that.
Sure. Well, happy Thanksgiving to you, Mr. Nettles,
You
and your
too.
family. I'm glad to have you in. We'll talk to you soon. Clinton Schools Superintendent Curt Nettles, our guest. We follow up the Tuesday night Board of Education meeting. Network news on the way.
The Big 1520 WHOW Clinton, 92.3 FM, W222B.